Okay, today we're going to talk about circles. Okay, circle is all the points in a plane the same distance from a given point. And we're going to call that the center. Okay, the same distance we're going to call the radius. Okay, so we're looking at a point for the center, the distance for the radius, and we measure that same distance all the way around. All these are points to make ourselves a circle. So this is the center, radius. Now, the center is going to have the ordered pair HK, and a point on the circle is going to have the ordered pair X, Y. So circles are all the points in the plane, the same distance from a given point. Now, we have a formula for circle, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So x minus h is the h part of the center, and the k is the k part of the center. So, for example, if I give you x minus 1 squared plus y minus, no, let's do plus 3 squared equals 16, we could name the center and we could name the radius. This would be my x minus h, and this would be my y minus k. Might help if you can see it, huh? All right, x minus h and y minus k. This would be our 16, so we're going to find the center and the radius. Now, notice this one is x minus h, so x minus matches, and the h would be the 1. Now over here, y plus 3 is the same thing as y minus a negative 3. Minus a negative makes plus, right? So if this is minus, then this is going to be a negative 3. So kind of some people remember just opposites means that you're going to have the opposite. So my center is 1, negative 3. My radius is r squared, so 16 equals r squared. Square root on both sides, and I get r is going to be plus or minus 16. Nope, plus or minus 4. Now, the plus or minus 4, we're talking about a distance, so we're going to have r is just going to be 4. So we've got the center and we've got the radius. Now, once we've got those two things, then we can draw the picture of the circle. So this is my x-axis and my y-axis. I have the point 1, negative 3. My h and my k would be 1 to the right and 3 down. And then from there, I would go out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we would just draw our circle in. All right, let's try another one. If I give you x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 25. And I want to know what my center and my radius are. Again, I would line it up, x minus h, y minus k. So this is the opposite, right? So we're going to have negative 2, 3 for my h and my k, for my center. And my radius, 25, is r squared. So I take the square root and I get r is plus or minus 5, but we know we have a length, so r is going to be 5. So we have our radius and we have our center. So no problems with those. Now what we're going to do from here is we're going to look and see what if it's not automatically set for us in this standard form. So we're going to look at one that looks like this: x squared plus y squared plus 6x plus 2y plus 6 equals 0. Okay? So what we're going to do is rewrite this in standard form. So we're trying to get this to be in standard form. Now we're going to use something called completing the square, which you guys have had before. But we're going to try to make sure that you know how to apply it now. So we're going to combine all the x's. So I got x squared plus 6x. And then I'm going to leave a space. And then I'm going to combine all the y's. So plus y squared plus 2y. And then the 6 is going to be coming over to the other side. So equals negative 6. So now we have that a is a 1, which is good. And the second step was to take c to the other side, which was the negative 6. Now we're going to take half of b. So this is our b. So half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to plus 9. If I add 9 on this side of the equal sign, I also have to add 9 on the equal sign over here. So we took half of b and squared it and added it to both sides. So now we've got to do it to the y. So half of 1, half of 2 would be 1. 1 squared is 1. So plus 1 to both sides. Now we factor this trinomial, and we're going to factor this trinomial. Now we know, since we just completed the square, that whatever we put in is going to be the same numbers. This is 9 plus 1 is 10, minus 6 is 4. Here we're going to get x and x. Factors of 9 are 3 and 3. Since they're both plus plus, this is going to be plus plus. Same with this one, y and y. 1 and 1 to get the 1. 1y and 1y is 2y, but it's a positive 2, so we have plus plus. So we get x plus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 4. So this would be my standard form of a circle. Now, again, what is my center? X minus h, y minus k. So my center is going to be negative 3, negative 1. And my radius is going to be 2. So you could graph it after that. Okay, let's try another one like that. So we're going to have x squared plus 20x plus 103 equals 4 minus y squared. Okay, this one's a little more awkward, right? So we're still going to put it in order. So the x's are already in order. X squared plus 20x. Now I'm going to bring the y squared over here by adding it. So adding it over here would be plus y squared. But I'm going to subtract the 103 to the other side, which would give me 4 minus 103. So we're okay with that step. So now I'm going to take half of b and square it. So that's going to give me 100. And over here I put plus 100. Now the y squared's already set because it doesn't have a middle term, so we're just going to leave that as y squared. So this is going to factor. So I get x and x plus 10 and plus 10 plus y squared equals, you have here is 104 minus 3 gives me a 1. So I get x plus 10 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 1. So this is my x minus h, y minus k. So I get h and k to be what? Negative 10, 0 for my center, and my radius equals 1. So no problems with those kinds. All right. Next one. This time they're going to give us some different things. They're going to give us the center to be 5, -4, and they're going to give us the diameter to be 24. Now, you know what a diameter is. The diameter is all the way across the circle. So if the diameter goes from here to here is 24, then what's the radius going to be, which is half of the diameter? You learned that in geometry, right? So my radius on this one is going to be 12, half the diameter, right? So my h and my k are here for the center, and here's my radius. So it says to write an equation in standard form. So we've got x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we're going to have x minus 5 squared, because we're plugging in h, plus y minus a -k, so it would be plus 4, right? Minus a -4 equals 12 squared, which we know is 144. And that would be my standard form, except I also need a square right there. Okay? Now that's if we have diameter. Another way that they're going to ask us if we have circumference. So you're going to have center at -8, 0 is the one they give here. And the circumference is going to be 10 pi. Now again, they want you to write it in standard form. So we need an h and a k and an r. So here's h and k. Circumference, we now know, is also something you learn in geometry. The distance around a circle is its circumference. So we have 2 times pi times r. So if this one's circumference is 10 pi, I set 10 pi equal to 2 pi r, and then I solve for r, then that's going to tell me what my radius is. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. So the 2 pi's cancel out, and I get r equals, the pi cancels, and the 2 cancels with the 10 and gives me 5. So r equals 5. So now we plug into the formula. X minus h, but minus a -8, is going to be plus 8 squared plus y minus 0, which would just be y squared. And you could put y minus 0 if you want. And equals 25, r squared, because our r was 5. So this would be our standard form. So we've done one with diameter, we've done with circumference. So let's try one with area. So we have, they give us center is -5, 6, and the area of the circle is 10 pi square roots of 2. Okay? Now, this one looks a little more ominous because we have that square root of 2 in there. But we still have h and k, and we know the formula for area. So we're going to take the area formula. So we know area of a circle is going to be as if it's coloring the circle in, right? That would be the area. So we know area is pi r squared. So we're going to set it equal to the 10 pi square roots of 2, right? Now let's look back at our formula again. Our formula is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, right? So we don't care about what r is, we care about what r squared is. So if I just divide both sides by pi, the pi's cancel out, and I get r squared equals 10 square roots of 2. So when I plug in, I'm just going to plug in for that r squared. R squared is 10 square roots of 2. I plug in 10 square roots of 2. So my answer is going to be x minus a -5 would be plus 5 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals my 10 square roots of 2. So we're okay with this one? All right, the next one we're going to do is one that gives us some things that we have to figure out. So we have the center is -5, -6, and the point on the circle is 2, 3. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking at something that looks like this. We have a circle. The center is my -5, -6, and then a point on the circle is 2, 3. Now, I already have my H and my K, right? I have my center. So all I need is an R. So how do I find the radius if I know a point on the circle and a point in the center? Well, all I do is do the distance formula. So our distance formula is the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. So instead of d for distance, we're just going to write r equals the square root of x sub 2. So here's x sub 2, y sub 2, x sub 1, y sub 1. So x sub 2 would be 2 minus a -5 squared plus 3 minus a -6 squared. So this gives me the square root of, minus a negative is plus, so plus would be 7. 7 squared is 49. 3 plus 6 squared is going to give me 9 squared is 81. So I add these two together, and this gives me the square root of 130. Now that's r, right? In our formula, we want to know r squared. So if I square both sides, I'm going to get r squared equals 130, because it's going to take that square root, and the opposite of a square root here would be square root of something squared is going to be the 130. So now I just plug in my h and my k, which was -5, -6, and my r squared into the formula. So I get x minus h minus the -5 would be plus 5 squared. Y minus k minus the -6, it would give me plus 6 squared equals r squared, which is 130. Okay, let's try this one. They're going to give the endpoints of the diameter. So we have 1, let's do this, 9, 1, and -17, 5. Okay, we're doing this one together. Okay, so basically what do we have? We're trying to find the circle given these conditions where these are the endpoints of a diameter. So endpoints of a diameter. So we're going to give ourselves a picture. So we have a diameter which goes through the center, right? So 9, 1 and -17, 5. So how would we find this middle point? Well, midpoint. So we're going to use the midpoint this time. The midpoint between 2 points, x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2, is found by taking x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, and y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. So that's what we're going to do first, is we're going to find our midpoint, our center. So 9 plus a -17 gives me -8. Let's put it up here. Okay, divided by 2 though, right? So -8 divided by 2. So 9 plus a -17 gives me a -8. divided by 2. 1 plus 5 gives me 6 divided by 2. So I have what? Negative 4, comma 3. All right, let's check ourselves out again. 17 and 9 subtracted is going to give me 8. Negative 8 divided by 2. There's my divided by 2. 1 plus 5 gives me 6. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. So this is my h and my k. Now, I need something besides just my h and my k. So this is my negative 4, 3. But now what do I have to do? I have to find what a radius is. So I pick one of these, it doesn't matter which one, and I just do the distance formula. So I'm going to have r equals the square root of, so let's do 9 minus a negative 4. So 9 minus negative 4 squared plus 1 minus 3 squared. So this gives me the square root of 13 squared. So 13 times 13, 9, 3, 169. Negative 2 squared is 4. So I get the square root of 173. Now again, it's like the 130 we did a minute ago. If that's r, then r squared is going to be 173 then, right? So my formula is going to be x minus h, which our h was a negative 4. So plus 4 squared, y minus k, which is 3 squared, equals 173. So you get the idea that you have different things that they're going to have you set you up to do. Okay? Thank you very much.